Very good morning to all of you, my friends. So, I'm CA Vipin Bohra, and I'll be taking care of the rest of the chapters of cost accounting. In fact, most of the chapters of the cost accounting now and onwards. So, whatever the queries you have, be it conceptual queries, be it question based query, you can post your queries. I'll try my best to address each and every query. So don't worry, whatever running in your mind, because see, these classes are conducted by ICAI for you guys only. So try to participate in the session actively. I just want an active participation in the session. Whatever running in your mind. So why this? Why these formulas? Why these concepts? Whatever running in your mind, speak to me. The more you will interact, the better you will be with the concepts. So try to be regular, punctual in the batch, try to actively participate in the session. I'm there for you till the last chapter and thereafter also. So let's start with a new chapter, that is activity based costing. Now, this chapter, activity based costing, is basically in continuation of the chapter what you guys have already studied, that is overheads. One second. Good morning, Niharika. Good morning, Gunjan. Good morning, Geeta. Good morning, Neeraj. Deepika. Everyone, very good morning. So, let's start with this chapter, activity based costing. Now, as I said, this chapter is in continuation of the chapter what you guys have studied, that is overhead. Now, what you guys studied in overhead? See, in overhead, you guys studied that these are the overhead, let's say rent, electricity, indirect labor, let's say depreciation. Now, what we used to do in overheads is that these overheads, since they are incurred as a whole, so we used to distribute the overheads. So we used to distribute the overheads among various production department and service department. Let's say there were three production department, P1, P2, and P3, and two service department, S1 and S2. So what we used to do, we used to distribute the overheads first. Since the overheads are incurred as a whole, एक साथ incur होते हैं. So what we used to do, we used to distribute the overheads either via allocation or apportionment to the various production department and various service department. Once these overheads were distributed to the various production department or service department, what we used to do, we used to redistribute the overheads of the service department to the production department. Reason being that no units are manufactured in the service department. So we used to calculate the total overheads of the service department, and these overheads of service department were redistributed to the various production department. And once the overheads are redistributed to the production department, we used to calculate the absorption rate. How we used to calculate the absorption rate? We used to divide it by basis of absorption. So after secondary after secondary distribution, that is redistribution of overheads of service department to the production department, we used to calculate the total overhead. And once the total overheads, once we have the total overheads of the various production department, what we used to do, we used to calculate the absorption rate. How we used to calculate the absorption rate? We used to identify the basis of absorption, and the total overheads divided by basis of absorption, we used to get the absorption rate. So this is what we used to do in overheads. When talking about the basis of absorption, it can be on the basis of labor hours or machine hours, or on the basis of percentage of direct material, etc. So we used to identify the basis of absorption, and via basis of absorption, we used to calculate the absorption rate. And once this absorption rate is calculated, by applying these absorption rate, we used to calculate the total cost of product. That is, we used to apply that absorption rate to the various products or job to calculate the total cost. So this is what you guys have learned in overhead. For the students who have joined a bit late, I repeat again, I have started with activity-based costing. This chapter is not a new chapter, but in continuation of the chapter, what you guys have already studied, that is overhead. I repeat again, when talking about overheads, these were the overheads. So overheads were distributed to the various production department and service department. Since no units are manufactured in service department, so the overheads of the service department were redistributed to the production department. Thereafter, we used to identify the basis of absorption. And once the basis of absorption is identified, we used to calculate the absorption rate. And that absorption rate is used to calculate the total cost of the product or total cost of batch. So this is what we have learned in overheads. One second. Can you be please more clear, Meenu? See, when talking about the distribution of overheads to the various departments, we call it as primary distribution. And once the overheads are distributed, the overheads of service department are redistributed to the production department. We call it as secondary distribution. सीधी और आसान भाषा में सर्विस डिपार्टमेंट के ओवरहेड्स जब हम प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट को रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, वी कॉल इट एज सेकेंडरी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. So now this is what we learned in overheads. Now this activity-based costing says that this approach is incorrect. I have a better approach. What activity-based costing says that how can you absorb all the overheads on a single basis? Let's say the overheads of the production department 1 were absorbed on the basis of labor hour. Now this activity-based costing says कि आप सारे खर्चों को एक ही बेसिस पे अब्सॉर्ब कैसे कर सकते हो. Rent has nothing to do with labor hours. Electricity has nothing to do with labor hours. Indirect labor, we can say somehow, somewhere it is linked to labor hours. But when talking about depreciation also, it has nothing to do with labor hours. ये सारे खर्चे एक ही बेसिस पे कैसे अब्सॉर्ब कर सकते हो? This approach is incorrect. I have a better approach. I repeat again, when talking about activity-based costing, it says that I have a better approach. It says, how can you absorb all the overheads on a single basis? सारे overheads आप एक ही basis पे कैसे absorb कर सकते हो? Let's say I'm absorbing the overheads on the basis of labor hours. So how can you absorb rent on the basis of labor hours? How can you absorb electricity on the basis of labor hours? So this activity-based costing says that I have a better approach. Now, what is the approach of activity-based costing? Now, what is the approach of activity-based costing? Activity-based costing says that instead of absorbing all the overheads on a single basis, what you have to do? You have to identify or figure out the activities. What you have to do? You have to identify or figure out the activities. So they will say that we will identify the various activities of the organization. So we can say machining cost can be an activity, or machine maintenance can be an activity. Machining cost or machining maintenance can be an activity. Another thing, let's say inspection can be an activity. Once the product is ready, we do inspect the product. So inspection can be an activity. Thereafter, we can say setup. Setup, we'll write the cost also. So every time when you start the production, you have to set up the machine and set up the production process. So the cost relating to setup, so setup cost can be an activity. Apart from this, we can say uh, material handling can be an activity. So this activity-based costing says that instead of absorbing all the overheads on a single basis, better सारे overheads एक ही basis पे absorb करने की बजाय what you do, identify the various activities of an organization. Now, once the activities are identified, whatever the costs that are relating to an activity will be grouped together to form a cost pool. So what it says that first identify the activities of the organization और उस activity के related जितने भी खर्चे हो रहे हैं, whatever the costs that are relating to an activity, हम उसका total निकालेंगे, we call it as cost pool. So we will calculate the total overheads of that activity. So identify the activities of the organization, whatever the costs that are incurred relating to an activity will be grouped together to form a cost pool. So once the activity is identified, the cost relating to an activity is identified, thereafter we will identify the basis of absorption. हर एक्टिविटी का एक सेपरेट बेसिस ऑफ अब्जॉर्प्शन होगा. फॉर एवरी एक्टिविटी देयर इज अ सेपरेट बेसिस ऑफ अब्जॉर्प्शन. जैसे ओवरहेड्स में तो क्या होता था, टोटल ओवरहेड divided by basis of absorption, we used to get the absorption rate. But this activity says that first identify the activity, thereafter calculate the total cost of an activity, and for every activity there will be a separate basis of absorption. There will be a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. So there will be a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. And when talking about cost driver, जैसे when talking about labor hours, we used to calculate the total labor hours. So we will identify the units. We will identify the units and see activity is total amount, the basis of absorption. Then we will identify the units, and this is how we will calculate absorption rate. When talking about the basis of absorption, let's say machining cost and machining operation, these are the activity. Since they are relating to machine, so their basis of absorption will be what? My machine hours. This will be the basis of absorption. When talking about inspection, when we inspect the product, it can be, if the inspection is relating to receipt of material, number of purchase order. If the inspection is related to production, it can be dependent. It can be dependent upon the number of inspection, or it can be dependent upon the number of production run. And if straight away the inspections are given, the inspection cost can be absorbed on the basis of number of inspections. Setup cost can be an activity. It can be absorbed on the basis of number of setups. Material handling can be an activity. It can be absorbed on the basis of number of purchase order. So for every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. So machining related activity के लिए उसका basis of absorption क्या होगा? Machine hours. So herein the machine hours will be available. The total amount divided by machine hours, we will get the absorption rate. The total setup cost, this is the total setup cost. Once it is divided by number of setups, we will get the cost per setup. When talking about material handling, this will be the material handling cost. We have the number of purchase order. This divided by this, we will get the absorption. So I repeat again, when talking about activity-based costing, what it says, very simple. First, identify the various activities of the organization. उस एक्टिविटी के रिलेटेड जो भी कॉस्ट है उसको ग्रुप कीजिए टू फॉर्म कॉस्ट पूल. सो जो भी सेटअप के रिलेटेड कॉस्ट इनकर हो रही है उसकी टोटल लगाइए एंड प्लेस इट हियर. वी कॉल इट एज कॉस्ट पूल. नाउ after identifying the activities, after fixing up the cost pools, now we have to identify the basis of absorption. किस एक्टिविटी का क्या basis of absorption होगा? In overheads there was only one basis of absorption, but in activity based costing, for every activity there will be a separate basis of absorption. So once the basis of absorption is identified, the units will be given. Amount divided by units, we will get the absorption rate. Amount divided by units, we will get the absorption rate. So this is what the concept of activity based costing. Anyone having any doubts till now? You guys can please post your queries. Anyone? Yes, Julie, Mustafa, Niharika, Harsh, Kuldeep, Gunjan, Kairavi, Manisha, Hina. Anyone having any doubts? Once we will discuss the practical question, you'll be able to understand that, okay, how easy this chapter is. So it's an easy chapter. Yes, Mr. Mustafa, once we identify the inspection cost, it can be absorbed on the basis of inspection hours or number of inspection. So you have to follow the instructions given in question and then figure out. See, either inspection hours will be given or number of inspection will be given. So one value will be given. So what you have to find the suitable basis of absorption and calculate the absorption rate. Practically, Gunjan, you only tell me which one is more practical. I hope you are thorough with the difference, Gunjan. So that's what it is. Anyone else with any doubts? So I repeat again, when talking about overheads, total overheads divided by one basis of absorption. But in activity-based costing, for every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. Overheads में सिर्फ एक ही rate calculate करते थे absorption का. In activity-based costing, there will be different rates for every activity. I'll write it also, the concept in detail. See, Kuldeep, you have to identify, you have to figure out the informations that are given in question. So depending upon the information given in the question, we have to solve the question. So whatever you find more appropriate, just use the information in the question and find out the absorption rate. So two parts, we can say traditional approach, or we can say absorption costing. The things what you have learned in overheads, what we used to do, total overheads divided by basis of absorption. Basis of absorption can be on the basis of labor hours. It can be on the basis of machine hours. It can be on the basis of prime cost. It can be on the basis of material cost, etc. So this is what you have learned in overheads. Now we're talking about activity-based costing. What it says, identify the activities of the organization. Identify the activities of organization. Once the activities are identified, thereafter what you have to do, the costs that are relating to an activity will be grouped together to form a cost pool. Whatever the costs that are related to an activity will be grouped together to form a cost pool. So this is the second step. Identify the activities of the organization. Whatever the costs that are relating to an activity will be grouped together to form a cost pool. Next part, for every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. For every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. Once the cost driver is identified, we will calculate the absorption rate. Now, once the absorption rate is calculated, with the help of, we will charge the absorption rate to a particular product to calculate the total cost. Absorption rate will be used to charge the overheads to a product to calculate the total cost. So these are the various steps. Activity identify कीजिए, total cost निकालिए. For every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. Once the cost driver is identified, we will calculate the absorption rate. and absorption rate will be used to charge the overheads to a product to calculate the total cost. So these are the process of activity. These are the steps of activity-based costing. Now, this was the practical part. Now, when talking about a question, activities कौन सी है organization की, this information will be given in the question. What all activities are involved or what all activities are there of an organization, this information will be given in the question. Now, second thing, the cost relating to an activity. जो भी cost है particular activity की, that will also be given in the question. एक particular activity की क्या cost है, that will be given in the question. When talking about what will be the cost driver for an activity, see, in most of the cases, it will be given in the question, but in some question, you have to identify कि किस activity का क्या basis of absorption है. So this, you have to identify. Absorption rate we have to calculate, and this also we have to calculate. So this is all what about the concept and the difference between the traditional costing and activity-based costing. Anyone having any doubts or queries, you guys can please post. In the meanwhile, I'm giving you 3 to 4 minutes time to copy what I have written over the board. Again, very important, since this is my first class, whatever the concept part I'm discussing, do write in your notebook. I repeat again, whatever the concept part I'm discussing, whatever it is written on the board, do copy in your notebook. Apart from this, see, my language might be different, your understanding might be different. So whatever you have understood from this concept, do write your comments in your notebook that, okay, this is what sir taught and this is what I have understood. So prepare your own notes, especially when talking about concepts. This costing is all what about concept. Ye jo costing hai, there are no formulas in cost accounting, be it material, be it overheads, be it activity-based costing, process, joined by product. There are no formulas in costing. It is all what about concepts. Throughout these sessions, I'll be discussing only the concept, that why these formulas. So herein, do write the concepts in your notebook, prepare your notes, do write your comments in your notebook, take your time, understand the things. The more you will write, the better you will be with the concepts. So giving you 3 to 4 minutes time to copy everything, please. Meenu, you tell me which one you find better, the traditional approach or activity-based costing? Yes. Uh, when talking from examination point of view, yes, over its questions are a bit lengthy, but herein also the questions will be lengthy. But practically, this approach is much better than the traditional approach. But this chapter is very easy. Yes, Rajiv. Anyways, this chapter, when while writing the solution, also the solution takes time. But again, when talking about the concepts of these chapters are this chapter is over. I'm done with the concepts. See, in the coming session, I'll be focusing more on concepts. But in this chapter, we are done with the concept. This is only all. This is all what about activity-based costing. Now we'll be discussing variety of question for better understanding of the chapter. But yes, in the coming chapters it will be more on concepts. The students who are present today, make sure you guys are regular in my batch. Trust me, you will find costing as the most easiest subject of your syllabus. The point is, make sure you guys are regular and punctual, and you try to participate in the session as much as possible. I'll be putting up variety of question in the coming sessions. Once a while discussing cost sheet, process costing, I'll be putting up many questions in front of you, and I'll be expecting answers from you. So try to actively participate in the session, just like feel like that you guys are just sitting in the regular class wherein the professor is asking you the question. So try to participate in the sessions, and those who are watching over YouTube also try to join it via Zoom so I can address all your queries. Because again, since you are learning these chapters for the first time, so I mean, I think there must be many queries. So whatever the queries you have, you guys can please post your queries. So now I request you guys to open your study material. Those who have physical study material can open your study material, and those who are not having study material, you can refer the online material. The material is available over the portal. I'll be starting with illustration number 1. I'll be starting with illustration number 1, page number 5.14. Page number 5.14, illustration number 1. So let's start with illustration number 1. Now see, generally the questions are lengthy in activity based costing. So read, half of the work is done when you read the question carefully. So read each and every line of the question carefully. So let's start with illustration number 1. ABC Limited is a multi-product company manufacturing 3 products, A, B, and C. The budgeted cost and production for the year ending 31st March are as follows. So the cost in the production related data is given, production quantity is given, resources per unit is given. So for every unit, the direct material required is given, the labor hours in minutes is given. So direct labor is given in minutes. When talking about the additional information, the budgeted direct labor rate was 10 per hour. So see, the information is given in minutes. However, the rate is given in hours. So we have to convert the minutes into hours. So the budgeted direct labor hour rate was rupees 10 per hour, and the budgeted material cost is rupees 2 per kg. Production overhead were budgeted at rupees 99,450 and were absorbed to the product using direct labor hour rate. ABC Limited followed the absorption costing system. So traditionally, what they were doing, total overheads were given, that is 99,450 divided by what is the basis of absorption? Labor hour. They used to absorb all the overheads on the basis of labor hours. Now, ABC Limited is now considering to adopt an activity-based costing system. So till now, they were absorbing all the overheads on one basis, that is labor hours, but now they are planning to switch to activity-based costing. The following additional information is made available for this purpose. When talking about the budgeted overheads, see, they have identified the three activities of the organization: material handling, storage cost, and electricity. And I don't know on what basis they have distributed the total overheads, that is 99,450. So उन लोगों ने क्या किया है कि बेसिकली क्वेश्चन में तीन एक्टिविटीज आइडेंटिफाई की है, or the cost relating to an activity is also given in the question. That is, material handling cost is 29,100, storage cost is 31,200, and the electricity cost is 39,150. So this is the breakup of total 99,450. 1 second. Don't worry, Hina. I'll be taking most of the chapters of costing. So make sure you are regular and try to participate in the session. Don't worry, Hina. So now let's proceed further. So herein the activities are given. The cost relating to an activity is given. Now for every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. So the activities are what? Material handling, and their basis of absorption is what? Weight of material handled. So this is what my cost driver. Second activity is storage cost, और उसका basis of absorption क्या है? Number of batches of material. When talking about electricity, the basis of absorption is what? Number of machine operation. So the question has given straight away everything. That traditional approach में क्या करना है? Total overhead divided by labor hours. Now in activity based costing, they have given the activity, they have given the total amount of that activity. Now what will be the basis of absorption of an activity? That is also given. Now when talking about the cost driver, their units, let's check. Data on cost driver are as follows. मतलब कि what will be the units of cost driver? The information is given in the question. So for complete production, the batches of material is given, that is 10, 5, and 15. Now for per unit of production, the number of machine operation is given, that is 632. So question has given almost 95% of the information straight away. So we have to do some small calculation and we'll be able to solve the question. Now you are requested to prepare a statement for the management showing the unit cost and the total cost of each product using absorption costing. So we have to calculate the unit cost also and the total cost of each product using what? Absorption costing system. Thereafter, second point, prepare a statement for the management showing the product cost of each product using ABC approach. Third part, we will discuss it later. So let's start with this question. The question is asking us to calculate the total cost using traditional approach, and second thing, total cost using activity based costing. So let's start with this question now. Kuldeep, it is page number 5.14. So let's start with the solution now. Illustration number 1. The page number is 5.14. Now, part first, they are asking us to calculate the total cost using absorption costing. So let's calculate the absorption rate first. That is total overheads. How much are my total overheads? 99,450. Whole divided by what? My labor hours. And labor hours are not given in the question, so we have to calculate the total labor hours. See, herein the overheads are absorbed on the basis of labor hours. So let's start with the calculation of labor hours. So when talking about labor hours, it is given for product A, we are manufacturing 4,000 units and every unit takes 30 minutes. So for product A, we have 4,000 units and every unit take 30 minutes and we have to convert it in what? Hours. So if we divide it by 60, we will get the number of hours. So if we divide it by 60, we will get the number of hours. So this will be 2,000 hours. Similarly for product B, again, the number of units are how much? 3,000 units and every unit take 45 minutes. Divided by 60. So I think this will be 2250. So 2250. When talking about product C, it is 1600 units and every unit takes 60 minutes. It means 1 hour. Into 60 divided by 60. So it will be 1600. So total hours will be how much? 5850. So we will get the absorption rate. 99450 divided by 5850. So this will be rupees. So we are done with the calculation of absorption rate. Let me check if there are any queries. Okay. So we are done with the calculation of absorption rate now. Very good, Rajiv. Okay, so now let's start with the calculation of cost. The same concept what we have learned in overhead. That is, let's calculate the total cost. So we'll prepare statement of cost. There are 3 products, A, B, and C. So there are 3 products, A, B, and C. So now, when talking about the direct material, it is 4 kgs and the rate is what? Direct material cost is rupees 2 per kg. I repeat again, the direct material is given that per unit, we need 4 kg and the rate is what? Rupees 2 per kg. So 4 2s are 8. Similarly, for product B also, it is 6 kg. So 6 into 2, 12 rupees. For product C, again 3 into 2, that is 6 rupees. Now next is direct labor. When talking about direct labor, it is given in minutes. So 10 rupees for an hour, 10 rupees for 1 hour. So for 30 minutes, it will be how much? 5 rupees. 10 into 30 divided by 60. Similarly, 10 into 45 divided by 60. So it will be 7.5. And lastly, it is 10 into 60 divided by 60. So this will be rupees 10. So 8 plus 5, it is 13. It is 19.5. And this is 16. We have the number of units also. That is the total number of units are 4,000, 3,000 and 1,600. So we will calculate the total prime cost also. So we will calculate the prime cost also, that is 13 into 4,000, 52,000. Why we write it as prime cost, I'll be discussing in detail in cost sheet. 58,500 and this is 25,600. So we are done with the calculation of total material cost and labor cost. Very good, Shamli. Now, let's start with the overheads calculation. I hope the boards and the board is visible to all. The letters are visible to all. Okay, so let's start with the overheads now. Let's start with the overheads. Okay, so let's start with the overheads now. So see, there are three types of overheads: material handling, storage cost, and electricity. Sorry, my mistake. So we can straight away write the overheads. I just forgot we are starting with traditional approach. When talking about overheads, the rate is 17 per hour. The overhead rate is 17 per hour. So 17 into 2,000. So this will be 34,000. 17 into 2250. So this will be 38,250. And 17 into 600. Sorry, 1,600. So this will be 27,200. So this will be my total overheads. 52,000 plus 34,000. So this will be 86,000. 58,500 plus 38,250. This will be 96,750. 25,600 plus 27,200. So this will be 52,800. So this is the total cost. If you want to calculate the unit cost, total cost divided by units, you will get the unit cost. So this will be 21.5. 96,750 divided by my units. These are my units. The units cost will be 32.25. So this is what you guys have learnt in overhead, wherein the total overheads divided by the basis of absorption. We used to calculate the absorption rate, and that absorption rate is applied to the product to calculate the total cost. So material labor, the total prime cost per unit. If we multiply it by units, we will get the total prime cost. In this, we will add the overheads. How come this 34,000 is calculated? Very simple. Since we are absorbing the overheads on the basis of labor hours, so 2000 labor hours for product A into 17, similarly 2250 into 17, and similarly 1600 into 17. So this is how we get the overheads. So this is how we will calculate the total cost. If we divide the total cost by units, we will get the cost per unit. Anyone having any doubts or queries? Yes, since the direct expenses are not given, so I have assumed that there are no direct costs. See, 8 plus 5, it is 13. 12 plus 7.5, it is 19.5. 6 plus 10, it is 16. So 13 into 4,000, we will get the total prime cost. 13 into 4,000, 52,000. 19.5 into 3,000, 58,500. 16 into 1,600, 25,600. This is how we got the prime cost. So first one, I think it is Himanshu. I hope your query is resolved, Himanshu. Yes, Himanshu. I Actually, there is an update over Zoom, so that's why I have to check the queries individually. So Mustafa, okay, done. Krishna Chauhan, yes, that is also okay. No worries. The presentation may vary, my dear. Okay, Kuldeep Nagar. Okay, great. Okay, so how direct labor? Can you be please more clear, Aditya? See, when talking about the direct labor cost, see this 5. How come I got this 5? The labor rate is what? Rupees 10 per hour. So 10 into 30 minutes divided by 60, you will get 5. Similarly, for this one also, 10 into 45 minutes divided by 60, you will get 7.5. Here, 10 into 60 divided by 60, you will get 10. So I hope this part is clear, Aditya. When talking about these figures, that is how I calculated the overheads. See, 27,200. The rate of absorption is what? 17. Into the labor hours for product C, it is 1600. So this is how I got 27,200. Similarly, herein also 38,250. How come I got this 38,250? How many hours are for product B? 2250 into 17. Similarly, here also 34,000. How I got? Very simple, 4,000 into 17. I hope it is clear, Aditya. Those who have any queries, you guys can please raise your hand and you can ask me. You can unmute and you can ask me. Anyone? Okay, so how 60? These are basically, see, it is 30 minutes. If it is 30 minutes, if you want to convert it in hours, so 30 divided by 60. Medha Sen, I hope it is clear. Okay, Miss Hina Kumari sir, why we have used labor hour cost as overheads? I have not used labor hour cost. See, I think you are not thorough with the concepts of overhead. So Hina, see, these were my total overheads. These were my total overheads. Now it is given in the question that overheads are absorbed on the basis of labor hours. Overheads are absorbed on the basis of labor hours. So these were my total overheads and these were my total labor hours. So how much are my overheads? Overheads are rupees 17 per labor hour. How much are my overheads? Rupees 17 per labor hour. Because herein in the question, the overheads are absorbed on the basis of labor hours. Overheads जो है हमारे labor hours के basis पे absorb हो रहे हैं. So my total overheads are 99,450. My total labor hours is 5850. So what will be my overhead per hour? 17 rupees per hour will be my overheads. So now for every labor hour, there is some labor cost also, and for every labor hour there are some overheads also. So when talking about labor cost, see, for every hour rupees 10 is the cost for labor, and for every hour 17 is the cost of overheads, because the question is saying that we have to absorb the overheads on the basis of labor hour. I hope it is clear. You can simply write the figures also, that's okay, Purnima. Perfect, crystal clear, Hina. Anyone else with any doubts, you guys can please post, that's okay. Medha Sen, can you please unmute? Are you using mic, Medha? See, the total cost is 86,000. 86,000, if we divide by units, we will get the unit cost. 86,000 divided by my number of units, we will get the unit cost. Okay, so admin sir, please unmute Medha. Yes,
Good
Medha,
morning,
tell
sir.
me.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning, my dear. Tell me.
Sir, I have understood why I mean how 60 minute, that's what we are calculating.
Yes. So see the rate is given what? Labor hour per hour. I mean the labor cost is given per hour. Now the information is given in minutes. If we want to convert the minutes into hour, we have to divide it by 60. I hope it
Yes,
is
sir.
clear now.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? Anyone else? See, alternatively, you can also solve like this. Alternatively, you can also solve the question like this, that material is 8, 12, and for C, it was how much? 3 into 2, that is 6. When talking about labor, it is 10 per hour. So 30 minutes, it will be 5, it will be 7.5, and this will be how much? 10. When talking about overheads also, we can write the overheads directly. How much are my overheads? 17 rupees per hour. For every hour, it is 17. So 17 for every hour. So herein, when talking about product A, it uses 30 minutes. So 30 divided by 60. Similarly, for product B also 17 into 45 divided by 60. Third case, 17 into 60 divided by 60. So we will get the overheads. That is 8.5. 12.75, and this will be 17. So this is how these overheads are calculated. That is 17 is my overhead rate. So 17 into 30 divided by 60, 17 into 45 divided by 60, 17 into 60 divided by 60. So this is how we will calculate the unit cost. So this will be 21.5. This will be 32.25. This will be 33. We have the units. That is 4,000, 3,000, 1,600. We will get the total cost. That is 4,000 into 21.5. This is also the way to solve the question. So it's up to you how you want to solve. The presentation may vary from student to student. Anyways, so this is the first part of the question, wherein the first and the important thing is calculate the absorption rate using traditional system. Since labor hours were not available, so we calculated the labor hours. Now the question is asking us to calculate the unit cost and total cost as per absorption costing. So direct material, direct labor, overheads, the unit cost, units, and total cost. Now let's proceed further with the next part. See, this is nothing new. This is what you guys have learned in overheads. Now let's start with activity-based costing. Now herein we have to calculate the absorption rate for every activity. So herein now this chapter comes into picture. This is what you have learned till now. So now calculation of absorption rate. So what all activities are there? There are three activities that are given in the question. That is material handling, storage cost, and electricity. These are the various activity. Now the cost of that activity is also given in the question. Material handling cost is given, that is 29,100. Storage cost is given, that is 31,200. And 39,150 is my electricity cost. For every activity, there will be a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. Now for material handling, what is the cost driver? It is given straight away in the question, that is, it is to be absorbed on the basis of weight of material handled. So it is absorbed on the basis of weight of material handled. When talking about storage cost, number of batches of material. When talking about electricity cost, number of machine operation. So these are the basis of absorption. So we have to calculate the units. And then only we'll be able to calculate the. So these are the overheads. These are the basis of absorption. Now we need to calculate the units. See, in traditional costing, we calculated the total labor hours. So herein we have to calculate the 3 units. That is, first one is the weight of material. Second one is the number of batches of material. And the third one is number of machine operation. Now let's start with the weight of material. Weight means what? How much quantity of material. So see, when talking about weight, the weight is given in kgs. So let's calculate the weight of material. So there are 3 products, A, B, and C. Let's prepare the working note. Now, how many units we have? 4,000, 3,000, and 1,600. 4,000, 3,000, and 1,600. Material required. Now, when talking about the weight of material per unit. Per unit, how much material? 4, 6, and 3 in kgs. 4, 6, and 3. So how much will be my total material? Herein it will be 16,000 kgs. 6 threes are 18,000 kgs. This will be 4,800. I repeat again, when talking about material handling, it is absorbed on the basis of weight of material handle. Weight means how much quantity we have consumed for raw material. So when talking about raw material, for product A, it is 4 kilo per unit. And the total number of units are 4,000. So 4 into 4,000, again, 16 kgs per unit. And the number of units are 3,000. So 6 into 3,000. Similarly, 3 kgs per unit. So 3 into 1,600, that will be 4,800. So 16,000 divided plus 18,000 plus 4,800. So this will be 38,800. So the total quantity of material we have is how much? 38,800. Now, second thing is storage cost. Storage cost is what? Number of batches of material. Now, let's check the number of batches of material. How much it is? See, it is given in the question for complete production. Pure production ke liye number of batches are how much? For A, it is 10. For B, it is 5. And for C, it is 15. So the total batches of material are how much? Total 30. This information is given straight away. Now, next point, electricity cost. It is to be absorbed on the basis of number of machine operations. Abhi machine operations kitne hai? Just check out. Number of machine operation are per unit of production. For every unit, there are 6 machine operation for A, for B it is 3, and for C it is 2. So my question to you guys, how much are my machine operations? So we'll be taking 6, 3, and 2, or we'll be taking some other figure. Please tell me, guys, how much will be my number of machine operation? Will be taking 6, 3, and 2, or will be taking some other figure? Very good. Very good, Rajveer. Yes, I just want your opinion. Whatever running in your mind, speak up. Yes, very good, everyone. Mustafa, very good, Mustafa. Your answer is correct. Okay. So now, herein, it is given per unit of production. How many number of machine operations? 6, 3, and 2. Number of machine operation per unit. How much it is given? 6, 3, and 2. So we can easily calculate the total machine operation. See, 6 machine operation per unit. So into the number of units, 6 into 4,000. So 24,000. So total machine operation. 6 machine operation per unit. So 6 into 4,000, 24,000. Similarly, 3 into 3,000, 9,000. 2 into 1,600, that is 3,200. So 24,000 plus 9,000 plus 3,200. So this will be 36,200. So now we are done with the calculation of units. Again, the chapter is very simple. Stick to the concepts. That is the total overheads divided by the absorption basis. So here in 29,100 divided by 38,800, how much will be the value? It will be 0.75 per kg. Storage cost 31,200 divided by 30. So it is 1040 per batch. Herein 39,150 divided by 36,200. It will be 1.08 per machine operation. Anyone having any doubts till now, you guys can please post your queries. Very good, everyone. Very good, Deepika. Very good, Aishwarya. Very good, Satish. Sir, storage cost, how 30 once again? Which 30? So see, the number of batches of material are given straight away in the question. Please check, Meenu. See the number of batches of material for complete production. 10, 5, and 15. So 10 plus 5 plus 15, you will get 30. I hope it is clear. Purnima, it will not be distributed in the ratio of 6 is to 3 is to 2, but it will be distributed in this ratio. So we are done with this calculation. Anyone want to copy this part? Can please copy, giving you 2 to 3 minutes time. Thereafter, we will start with the statement of total cost as per activity-based costing. We can take 2 to 3 digits. It's up to you. Krishna. See, it is the first one is the activity, second one is the total amount, third one is the cost driver. That is the basis of absorption. Thereafter, the units and the absorption rate. How we got the absorption rate? 29,100 divided by 38,800. See, this is the amount divided by units. This is how I got 0.75 per kg. Storage cost 31,200. On what basis it will be absorbed? On the basis of number of batches of material. And the units are 30. So 31,200 divided by 30, 1,040. 39,150 divided by 36,200, it will be 1.08. I hope it is clear, Miss Chetra. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? See, this is the best way to present in exam. The first one is when there is a full-fledged question. First step, calculate the absorption rate, prepare the statement of cost as per traditional costing. Now, when talking about activity-based costing, you need to prepare this master chart. That is activity, rupees, cost driver, units, and absorption rate. If any information is missing, we will prepare the working note. I hope it is clear, Mustafa. And thereafter, finally, the statement of total cost as per activity-based costing. Yes, we need to prepare. It looks good. See, in while solving the question, while checking the solution in study material, it is not prepared in tabular form. But trust me, this will help you a lot, and it will be quick to solve the question. I'll be following the uniform format in all the questions. The same format: activity, rupees, cost driver, units, and absorption rate. Those who want to copy this part can please copy. Okay, sir. Last question. Why you direct write 30 but not multiplied by 4? So, Meenu, just read the question. Again, whatever the query is running in your mind, don't feel shy. These classes, again, are conducted for your benefit, and I have lots of patience. See, this teaching is apart from my profession, this is my hobby. So, I just want each and every student of mine to be thorough with the concept. Whatever running in your mind, speak up. So, Meenu, now, see, read the question carefully. Data on cost driver is as follows. For complete production, पूरे production के लिए, the number of batches of material are 10, 5, and 15. So 10 plus 5 plus 15, 30 is for complete production. That's why I have straight away written 30. Now, second, for per unit of product machine operation is given. For every unit machine operation. So इस question में machine operation जो है every unit का given है, and when talking about batches of material, it is given for complete production. So the complete production ka 30 that's why I have taken straight away 30. And when talking about the number of machine operation, it is given per unit of product. So that's why we multiplied it by 30 to calculate the machine operations for the complete production. I hope it is clear, Meenu. Anyone else? Yes, Linga, the calculation is simplified and it's easy. So I request you guys to copy this part. I'll give you time to copy this part. Since it's the first question, many students are feeling like, what is this? What is that? Why we are doing so? So trust me, just wait for one or two more questions. I assure you, you will find this chapter the easiest chapter you have learned till now. So follow the basic step. First thing, calculate the absorption rate as per traditional costing. Second, prepare statement of cost as per traditional costing. Third step, calculate the absorption rate as per activity-based costing. And fourth step, prepare the statement of cost as per activity-based costing. If any information is missing, see, in this question, the information was missing as regards labor hour. So I prepared a working note. In this part, the information was given missing as regards the weight of material. So we need to prepare the working note to calculate the weight of material. We need to prepare the working note to calculate the number of machine operation. So the key is 1, 2, 3, and the statement I'm going to prepare. These are the four major statements. If any information is missing, prepare the working note. Yes. So now let's proceed with the solution. The solutions are a bit lengthy, but trust me, it's very easy. Basic mathematics, very simple. Now, statement of cost as per ABC. So there are three products, A, B, and C. Now, let's start with material. The same process, the complication will start from overheads. So material cost, it is given straight away, that is how much per unit. The same way we calculated, we prepared it previously, 4 kgs, and the rate is rupees 2 per kg. So material, it is 8. For the second thing, it is 6 kgs into 2 per kg. So this is 12. Third, again, same 3 into 2, that is 6. Now, same way, labor also, rupees 10 per hour. So for 30 minutes, it will be how much? Rupees 5. Rupees 10 hour. For 45 minutes, it will be how much? 1 घंटे का 10 रुपए. तो 45 मिनट्स का कितना? 7.5 रुपए, 7.5 rupees. And here it will be 10. So 8 plus 5, 13, 12, 19.5, and 10 plus 6, 16. We have the units also. How many units we have? 4,000, 3,000, and 1,600. So what will be my total cost? Prime cost, we call it as prime. 13 into 4,000. So this will be 52,000. 3,000 into 19.5. This will be 58,500. 16 into 1,600. This will be 25,600. So we are done with material labor over just the copy paste of the previous table. Now overheads. Now very important guys, overheads में पहले हमारा सिर्फ एक ही rate of absorption था. In the first part, there was only one rate of absorption, that is 17 rupees per labor hour. But now we have the three absorption rate, 0.75, 1,040, and 1.08. So overheads will be divided in three parts. So that's the major difference between traditional costing and absorption costing. So let's start with overheads now. So first one is what? Material handling. Now material handling is dependent upon what? Weight of material. How come we got 38,800? 16,000, 18,000, 4,800, we got 38,800. Now, how much is the rate? 0.75 per kg. For every kg, 0.75 will be my overheads, and overheads are related to material handling. So, for A, how many kgs we are using? 16,000 kgs. 16,000 kgs into 0.75 per kgs is what? My overheads. So, 16,000 into 0.75. So how much will be my overheads? 12,000. See, I'm not writing the explanation because again the solution will be messy. So just writing in the first case, material used is 16,000 into 0.75. Similarly, in the second case, material used in case of product B is 18,000 into 0.75. So this will be 13,500. Material used in C is 4,800, 4,800 into 0.75. So we are done with the first category of overheads, that is material handling. Now the second category is what? Storage cost. Storage cost is dependent upon what? the batches of material, it is 1040 per batch. Now batches are given in the question itself straight away, since we have taken the straight figure 10, 5 and 15. So 1040 into 10, that will be 10,400. 1040 into 5, here I'm writing it for your reference, 1040 into 5. So this will be 5,200. And 1040 into 15, 15,600. I hope this part is clear. So second overheads are also done. Now third overheads are what? My electricity cost. It is dependent upon what? Number of machine operation. ये किसके ऊपर dependent है? Machine operations के ऊपर. And machine operation also we have 24,000 for this, 9,000 for B, and 3,200 for C. So simply these figures need to be multiplied by 1.08. So 24,000 into 1. See, these are the total machine operation. So product A के कितने हैं? 24,000 और overheads कितने हैं? 1.08 per machine operation. Next, 9,000 into 1.08. This will be 3,510. So material plus labor, we have, it is 52,000, 58,500 and 25,600. And when talking about overheads in traditional costing, since there was only one basis of absorption, so the overheads were calculated as a whole. Herein there are three bases of absorption. My overheads will be divided in three parts. So now what will be my total cost? 52,000 plus 12,000 plus 10,400 plus 25,920. So 100,320. Similarly, 58,500, 13,500, 5,200 and 9,720. This will be 86,920. Similarly, third part, 25,600, 3,600, 15,600 and 3,510. So this will be 48. So this is what my total cost. If we divided it by number of units, 4,000, 3,000 and 1,600, we will get the cost per unit. So a small change in the statement in activity-based costing and traditional costing. So now anyone having any doubts or queries, you guys can please speak up. Very good, Meenu. Your answers are correct. Very good, Krishna. I appreciate your efforts. Very good. Many students are trying to solve the question simultaneously. I appreciate your. I have taken the balancing figure, Deepika. See, okay, it should be the difference between your figure and my figure is what basically the rounding of difference. My total overheads are 39,150. So I subtracted these two to get this figure. So there is a rounding of difference of 46 rupees. So ignore it, please. But anyways, great job. Again, Gunjan, it's the rounding of difference, my dear. Which 5, 7.5 and 10? Medha, please check the labor cost. How much is the labor cost per hour? Rupees 10. Now, how many minutes for product A? 30 minutes. So 10 into 30 divided by 60. The same question you are asking. 10 into 45 divided by 60 and 10 into 60 divided by 60. I hope this part is clear to you, Medha. Meenu Kumari 25.08. How you got? See, Meenu, this is what my total cost. If we divide it by units, we will get what? The cost per units. So my total cost is 1,00320 divided by number of units. We will get the cost per unit. I hope it is clear now, Medha. How come machine operation? Vedant, can you please unmute and speak up? Please raise your hand. If you have mic, then do raise your hand. Admin sir, please unmute Vedant Tiwari. Admin sir. Manish sir, are you there? Yes, sir, please unmute Vedant Tiwari.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Vedant. Tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have taught in
I think
machine.
one more student, Harsh Mishra, also have problem with this electricity part. So please tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have doubt in how come machine operations.
Okay,
सर
machine operations में आपको problem है, right? What's the problem, Vedant? Tell me.
तो जो इसका ये 24,000 आ ये कहाँ से आया?
कौन सा 24,000?
तो 24,000, 9,000,
ये
3,000. Yes, sir.
देखिए वेदांत, आप मुझे क्वेश्चन में बताइए क्या लिखा है क्वेश्चन में. यू विल ओनली टेल द सोल्यूशन. क्वेश्चन में क्या लिखा हुआ है मशीन ऑपरेशन के रिलेटेड?
तो मशीन ऑपरेशन लिखा है 6, 3 and 2
6, 3 and 2. उसके ऊपर क्या लिखा है जरा बताइए आप.
पर यूनिट प्रोडक्शन.
मतलब एक यूनिट का मशीन ऑपरेशन कितना है? फॉर ए इट इज 6, फॉर बी इट इज 3 एंड फॉर सी इट इज 2, राइट?
Yes, sir.
कितने यूनिट का है ये? एक यूनिट का है या पूरे प्रोडक्शन का है वेदांत?
एक यूनिट का.
एक यूनिट का है. हमने
Yes.
यूनिट्स कितने बनाए हैं ए, बी और सी के?
4,000, 3,000, 1,600.
4,000, 3,000 एंड 1,600. सो एक टोटल 4,000 यूनिट्स आपने बनाए. एक यूनिट का कितना है? 6 है. तो टोटल कितना होगा?
24,000.
बस यू नो द सोल्यूशन.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
परफेक्ट. सो 24,000, 9,000, 3,200, 36,200 आ गया. ये हमारे टोटल यूनिट्स है. सो टोटल कॉस्ट डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल यूनिट्स, वी विल गेट द कॉस्ट पर मशीन ऑपरेशन. आई होप इट इज क्लियर वेदांत नाउ.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
क्रिस्टल क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think Harsh Mishra, I hope this part is clear to you now. Neeraj Kumar, I hope it is clear now. So again, how I calculated these figures: 24,000 into 1.08, 9,000 into 1.08, 3,200 into 1.08. This is the first question, so it will happen. Don't worry, feel free to speak to me. I'm there to address your queries. But in second question, you'll be better. Yes, examiner will consider the rounding of difference. Don't worry. Admin sir, please unmute Ramchand Singh.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Very good morning, my dear.
सर स्टोरेज कॉस्ट में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम थी.
क्या प्रॉब्लम था?
वो समझ नहीं आया सर, कैसे आएगी अमाउंट.
क्या चीज समझ में नहीं आया आपको? Yes,
जो
Mr. Singh.
जो अमाउंट आई है 15,000
कौन सा अमाउंट?
वो 40 ਨੂੰ 5 ਨਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੀ
I think you are not in
25
network, my dear. Your voice is breaking.
हेलो
Yes, tell me now.
सर वो अमाउंट नहीं मुझे समझ आई कैसे आई है
What's the
5
amount?
टेक ईयर 40 into 5
Huh?
1000 to 40 into 5 1040 into 5 storage cost राइट हैंड साइड लेफ्ट हैंड साइड
Storage
सर
cost. This one.
नहीं
Yeah.
जी जी सर
Okay. Storage cost के related क्या? Storage cost क्या basis पे absorb होती है? Number of batches of material. Right, Mr. Singh?
जी
Right? अब देखिए नंबर ऑफ बैचेस ऑफ मटेरियल कितना दिया हुआ है आपको क्वेश्चन में?
30
हाँ,
टोटल
10, 5 and 15, right? For A it is 10, for B it is 5 and for C it is 15, right?
जी
Yes, Mr. Ramchandra.
हाँ जी हाँ जी
बराबर 10, 5 and 15 आपको दिया हुआ है. सो इसी वजह से हमने 30 लिया
हाँ
और
जी
1040 पर बैच लिया, राइट? सो एक बैच का कितना है? 1040. सो for A, how many batches are there? Total 10 batches are there. So 1040 into 10. So this is how I got 10,400. समझ में आया?
जी सर ओके
Perfect. Anyone else? I understand this is the first question,
नो
so you
सर
find lots of difficulty. Anyone else with any doubts or query? Chetra, I hope it is clear now. Hina, any doubts? Yes, Hina Kumar. Any doubts, Hina? I hope you are thorough with the concepts. Anything, any conceptual query, you can speak up. Guys, don't feel shy. Whatever running in your mind, it's the first question. So it will take time to understand the concepts. See, the chapter is very simple. Absorption rate, statement of cost. Absorption rate, statement of cost. I assure you, in the second question, you'll be more comfortable to solve the question. Anyone, whatever the queries you have, I'm there too. Yes, I'll give you time to note down. Just give me 2 minutes. Harsh Mishra, as I said, 3200 into 1.08 is 3456, but I have taken the balancing figure, that is 39,150 minus these two figures. The difference that is coming is because of the decimals. That's why. Okay, great. So now, friends, I need a break for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So let's take a break, but we'll be live. So those who want to copy the explanation can copy. Apart from this, many students are facing the query. I have addressed everybody's query. So while solving the question, write the queries in your notebook. See, this is what I found difficult, and this is what sir taught. So while you are revising now, you will not find the same query again. So जिसको भी जो query आया है, do write my explanation that okay, this was my query and this is what sir taught. And again, write your comments in the question, in the solution sheet, wherever you are writing the solution, so that you can figure out that okay, this was the problem I faced and this is what I have understood. So giving you 10 minutes time. Admin sir, Manish sir, आप ब्रेक स्टार्ट मत कीजिए, लाइव रहने दीजिए, एंड लेट द स्टूडेंट कॉपी. आई विल गो फॉर अ ब्रेक बिकॉज आई नीड अ ब्रेक नाउ. Okay, one more query. Meda Sen, sir, how did this cost per unit came? Meda, what is the total cost? This is the total cost: 100,320, 86,920, and 48,310. This is my total cost. If we divide it by number of units, we will get the cost per unit. So total cost divided by units, you will get these figures. So 100,320 divided by 4,000, 86,920 divided by 3,000, 48,310 divided by 1,600. I hope it is clear, Meda, now. Anyways, we'll be back after 10 to 15 minutes. So let's take a break. Manish sir, shall we start? So welcome back, my friends. So we started with activity-based costing and we have discussed one question. Now let's discuss one more question. And trust me, guys, you'll be very comfortable with this question now. Since it was the first question, so many students face queries. So now let's start with the next question. 1 second. Let's start with illustration number 3. The next question of study material we are discussing is illustration number 3, page number 5.24. There is one more session on activity-based costing, so we'll be discussing 3 to 4 more questions in the coming session. And I assure you, by the end of the coming session, you will be very good. I mean, you will be thorough with activity-based costing. So let's start with illustration number 3. Let me complete the practical part first, my dear. So illustration number 3, ABC Limited manufactures two types of machinery equipment Y and Z, and applies absorbed overheads on the basis of direct labor hours. So there is a company which is manufacturing two types of product Y and Z, and currently they are absorbing the overheads on the basis of direct labor hours. The budgeted overheads and direct labor hours for the month of December is given straight away, that is 12,42,500 and 20,000 hours respectively. The information about the company product is as follows, wherein equipment Y and Z, the budgeted production volume is given, that is the budgeted units is given, direct material cost is given per unit, the direct labor cost is given per unit. Now, they are planning to switch to activity-based costing. And when talking about these total overheads of 12,42,500, it can be identified in three major activities: order processing activity, machine processing activity, and product inspection activity. So these are the three activities. So order processing, machine processing, and inspection. And the breakup of the overheads is also given. These activities are driven by the number of orders processed. So order processing is absorbed on the basis of order processed. Machine processing is absorbed on the basis of machine hours worked, and inspection cost is absorbed on the basis of inspection hours respectively. And the data is also given related to orders processed, machine hours worked, and inspection hours. So assuming use of direct labor hour to apply absorbed overheads to the production, compute the unit manufacturing cost of equipment Y and Z if the budgeted manufacturing volume is attained. And second point, assuming the use of activity-based costing, compute the unit manufacturing cost of equipment Y and Z if the budgeted production volume is achieved. So let's start with the calculation. So again, the same way, traditional approach and activity-based costing. So first thing what we have to do is calculate the absorption rate, then statement of cost. Activity-based costing also statement of absorption and statement of cost. So let's start with illustration number 3. .24 is the page number. Yes, we will be discussing this part separately, Medha. So now let's start. part first. So 12,42,500 divided by 20,000. So 62.125 will be what my absorption rate. So the first part is over. That is the calculation of absorption rate. Now we have to prepare the statement of cost. There are two products, Y and Z. Now, when talking about material cost, it is given straight away. That is direct material cost per unit 300 and 450. When talking about labor cost also, it is given straight away. That is 450 per unit and 600 per unit. And when talking about overheads, it is dependent upon what? Labor hours. So see, labor hours for product Y, it is 3 hours, and for product Z, it is 4 hours. Read the question. Direct labor cost is for Y, it is 3 hours at the rate 150 and 4 hours at the rate 150. So the number of hours for product Y, it is 3, and for product Z, it is 4. And we have the overhead absorption rate per hour. So 3 into 62.125 and 4 into 62.125. So we can calculate the total cost. If we want to calculate the total cost per unit, this is what the cost per unit. If we multiply it by number of units, we will get the total cost. So the number of units are 2,500 and 3,125. For the second one, it is So this is the solution as per traditional system of costing. That is the first part of the question. Very good, Meenu. Now let's move towards the second part of the question, wherein we have to prepare the statement showing calculation of absorption rate. I'll be following the uniform pattern for all the questions. So activity, what all activity are there? Admin sir, can you please unmute Neeraj Kumar? Yes, Neeraj,
Good
tell
morning,
me.
sir.
Good morning. Can you be please bit more loud?
सर ये जो स्टडी मटेरियल दे रखा है इसके अंदर टोटल ओवरहेड कॉस्ट तो 567 आ रहा है
कौन सा?
सर इक्विपमेंट वाई वाला
लेट मी चेक. मैंने कोई कैलकुलेशन मिस्टेक तो नहीं किया? प्लीज चेक कीजिए. लगता है आपके स्टडी मटेरियल में कुछ एरर है. 936.38 आ रहा है. देखिए 300 प्लस 450 प्लस 186.38. वापस से चेक कीजिए.
सर स्टडी मटेरियल में तो यही दे रखा है.
कैसे दिया है आप जरा चेक कीजिए. 1 second. Let me open the solution also. This is the study material, this is the question, and this is the final answer. 936.38 total cost.
Yes,
I hope it is clear.
बट सर टोटल कॉस्ट की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं तो.
टोटल कॉस्ट तो दिया हुआ ही नहीं है. इसके अंदर तो यूनिट कॉस्ट ही निकाला है.
सर नीचे स्क्रॉल कीजिए ना. हाँ सर ये वाला अमाउंट 567 ऊपर गया.
अरे वो भाई रुको जरा. ये एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग के हिसाब से है वो. आई हैव सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन एज पर ट्रेडिशनल सिस्टम ऑफ कॉस्टिंग. आप चिंता मत कीजिए. ये भी अमाउंट आएगा. वेट फॉर सम
अच्छा
टाइम.
ठीक है सर ध्यान नहीं गया उसमें.
No worries. So now activity. So let's check the activities. What all activities are there? One second. There is one more query. Let me check. Okay. Thank you, Krishna. So now let's start with the next part. Activity. So what all activities are there? It is given straight away in the question. See, order processing, machine processing, and product inspection. So first one is order processing. Second one is machine processing. And third one is product inspection. So these are the activities. Now, the total cost relating to an activity is grouped together to form a cost pool, and this is also given in the question. That is the cost relating to an activity. It is 2,10,000, 8,75,000, and 157,500. For every activity, there is a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver. So the information of cost driver is also given. That is, 1 second, guys. So for every activity, there is a separate basis of absorption. We call it as cost driver, and the details of the cost driver are also given. That is, when talking about the order processing, it is number of order processed. When talking about machine processing, it is machine hours worked. One second, guys. For the third one, for product inspection, it is basically the inspection hours. So this information is also given in the question. Inspection hours. Now let's write the units. How much is the quantity of all these? When talking about the number of order processed for Y and Z, it is 600. When talking about the machine hours worked, it is 50,000. When talking about inspection hour, the total inspection hours are 15,000. So we have the amount, we have the units, we can calculate the absorption rate. So 2,10,000. So this will be 350 per order. $875 divided by 50,000. 17.5 per hour. Better it is to write per machine hour. And the third one, 157,500 divided by 50,000. Sorry, 15,000. So 10.5 per inspection hour. So first part, as I discussed in the previous question also, the procedure will be the same. Absorption rate, statement of cost. Absorption rate, and now product Y and product Z. So let's start. When talking about material and labor, it is 300 and 450. And 450 and 600. If we multiply it by units, we will get the total of material and labor. The number of units are given in the question, 2,503,125 units. So my total prime cost will be how much? 2,500 into 750. So this will be 18,75,000. This is my prime cost. $32,81,250. Now let's start with the overheads now. In this, there was only one category of overheads, but herein there are three overheads. Let me check if there are any. Very good, Rajiv. Very good, Harsh. Now let's start with the overheads. So there are three categories. Meda, again, very simple. The cost per unit into units, we will get the total prime cost. So 750 into 2500, 1050 into 3125. So now let's start with the overheads part. Three category of overheads: order processing, machine processing, and product inspection. So now let's start with order processing. 350 per order. And the number of orders are given 350 into 350. The number of orders of, so this will be 122, 500. Now 350 into 250. It will be 87, 500. See, 350 into 350 and 350 into 250 orders. Similarly, for machine processing, it is machine hours worked are given. That is 23,000 and 27,000, and the rate is 17.5 per machine hour. So 4,02,500. How come 17.5 per machine hour into 23,000 hours? Similarly, for the second one, it is 27,000 hours. So 17.5 into 27,000 hours. So it is 472,500. In the third case, the product inspection is dependent upon inspection hour. So it is 10.5 per hour. So 4,000 into 10.5, it will be 42,000. And 11,000 into 10.5. So this will be 1,15,500. I'm erasing this part. I request you guys to copy this part. Those who want to copy this explanation, since space is the constraint, so I'll be using this part of board. So I request you guys to copy this explanation. I hope now this part is visible. This part of the board is visible. So now let's calculate the total cost. Very good, Gunjan. So let's calculate the total cost. Or prime cost is 18,75,000 plus 122,500 plus 4,02,500 plus 42,000. So my total cost will be 24,42,000. Similarly, for the Z1, it is 328,1250 plus 87,500 plus 472,500 . Please recheck the calculation, Rajiv. Very good, Shamli Sharma. So per unit, cost per unit, we can write. I hope this part is visible to all. So this is my cost. These are my units. $976.8 is my cost per unit. Very good, Shamli. Your answers are correct. Very good, Krishna. Very good, Meenu. Very good, Harsh. Please check the calculation, Harsh. I think your answers are incorrect. Very good, Rajiv. Very good, Harsh. Okay, Kuldeep. Very good, Purnima. Very good, Medha. Very good, Pooja. Your answers are correct. I think many students are solving the question with me. I appreciate your efforts. Very good, guys. Keep it up. You guys are doing great. It's only the second question. I think the Zoom is updated. That's why I have to open everybody's page separately. So let me check the other queries if there is any query. Very good, Mustafa. Very good. So I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts. Anyone having any doubts till now? Now I think you guys are feeling better and more comfortable with the chapter. The concept is same. Absorption rate, statement of cost. Absorption rate, statement of cost. This is the uniform. These are the uniform steps you have to follow in every question. Absorption rate, statement of cost. Then again, when talking about ABC also, absorption rate and statement of cost. I hope you guys are feeling better. ₹5,67,000 कैसे आया? Where is 5,67,000? Which 5,67,000 you are talking about, Neeraj? Medha, any doubts? See, again, I'm following the instructions that are given in the question. The question is asking me to prepare the statement as per traditional and activity-based costing. That's why I'm preparing as per traditional and activity-based costing, Vedant. Yes, so anyone having any doubts? See, why this, why that? See, in today's session, I just try my level best to cover all the concepts in detail. I have discussed 2 questions. See, there are hardly any concepts in the chapter. The concept is like, what is the difference between ABC and overhead? So nothing much to discuss. Only we need to solve few questions. So I hope you guys are feeling better. Hina, any doubts, Hina? Vedant, Aditya, Jitu, Gunjan. Yes, Hina, any doubts? Meenu, any doubts? I hope things are perfect with everyone. In the coming session, I just want everyone to be ready with the answers because I'll be discussing variety of questions in the coming session. Any conceptual queries? Because in the coming session, I'll be discussing few more variety of questions. But as far as concepts are concerned, this is all what about this chapter. Sir, Purnima, sir, if they ask us to calculate only by ABC method, no need to do traditional calculation. See, why to waste time in calculating the statement of why to waste time when the question is asking us only to prepare the statement as per ABC. So no need to. Follow the instructions that are given in the question. Whatever the question is asking, you have to do it that way only. Thank you so much, Harsh. Miss Harsh Kaur. Still, if you want, I can extend it for 10 more minutes. I just want everyone, those who are live or those who are over YouTube or over Zoom, whatever the doubts you have, you guys can speak to me. I'm there for you. So guys, enough of discussion today on activity-based costing. So homework for you is that do revise what I have discussed till now. Prepare your own notes on activity-based costing. See, the chapter is very simple. There is no rocket science. जो आपने overheads में किया है उसी का copy paste activity based costing में. In overheads, we used to calculate only one absorption rate. But in activity case, activity based costing, very simple guys. The number of activity, that will be the number of absorption rate. Rest no change. The total cost of material, total cost of labor, the things change from the overheads. So in this, overheads there were only one amount of overheads, and herein we have classified the overheads in 3 parts. So the solution will change from the overheads. Rest everything is same. So anyways, guys. Okay, 1 second. Thank you so much, Harsh Mishra. Thank you so much, Meenu. Let me check if 8 to 10 marks again, Hina. Sir, in traditional Gunjan Devi, sir, in traditional approach, if we have done by method 1, no need to do any experiments, don't do any stunts, stick to the concept. Whatever the question is asking, just go it that way. Don't do this, that. Again, you will be confused. Right now, you are in the phase of learning. So you are not expert in this chapter. So just walk straight. Don't go here and there. That's the key, Gunjan. Once you are thorough with the chapter, when you have solved 15 to 20 questions on activity-based costing, then you can just try to twist the things. So as of now, a suggestion from my side, just go straight, focus on concepts, stick to the concepts, follow the pattern. Absorption rate, statement of cost. Absorption rate, statement of cost. This is what we are going to do in this chapter in the coming session also. So homework, do revise what I have discussed till now. Solve illustration number 1 once again, illustration number 2 also, illustration number 3 also, and practical question number 1. So these are the 4 questions, illustration number 1, 2, 3, and practical question number 1. Try to attempt the question, solve with peace of mind and with patience. You will surely be able to solve the questions. So still let me check if there are any queries. Yes, the total amount is allocated, Kuldeep. No, Meda. Whatever the concepts I have discussed, prepare in that way only. No need to do additional exercise. Wherever required, I'll guide you. This is what I expect from everyone, to actively participate in the session. That's why I'm using whiteboard, Mustafa, so that you should get that classroom wala feeling. So anyways, thank you so much. Let me check if there are any queries. नीरज कुमार, स्टडी मटेरियल में जो आंसर आ रहा है वो किसी और चीज का आ रहा है. Once you will solve the question, you'll be able to understand the things, Raju. So thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience and for active participation in the session. I think I'm not left. I think I have covered all the queries. So see you guys in the coming session on Tuesday, wherein we'll be discussing variety of questions on activity-based costing. Till then, solve illustration number 1, 2, 3, and practical question number 1. Take care, guys. God bless you and enjoy your weekend. Take care. Thank you. Admin, sir. Yes, sir. Done. My next session is on Tuesday, sir. Chalega, sir. Thank you.